Sports HQ. Last year in the fantasy world, the surprise of the season, well, both in fantasy and the real NFL, was rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels. You see the points accumulated en route to the most total yards and total touchdowns by a rookie all time. You also saw standout performances from Brian Thomas Jr. and Brock Bowers. Both of those guys, you could find them drafted anywhere from 90th to 120th overall. But as you see, the point accumulation there, a lot of value for some breakout stars. So we're going to do the same thing in 2025, looking to see where we can find value in some breakout stars with our FFT crew of Jamey and Dave. Guys, let's start with the quarterbacks. And Dave, I'll come to you first here. It was all about Jayden Daniels last year. Who's the guy you're looking at this year?
It's hard to find a breakout candidate, but the one that I like the best is Drake May with the Patriots. He's got improved weapons. It's an improved offensive scheme, and Josh McDaniels now calling plays. We know how successful McDaniels has been as a play caller, maybe not necessarily as a head coach. And even last year, worse offense, worse weapons around him. His last 11 games, Drake May averaged 18.6 fantasy points per game, and a lot of that had to do with how he did running the football. And he's kind of talked about how he doesn't want to run as much, but we've seen him do it in the preseason game when the opportunity presents itself, especially in the red zone. He's going to run and score a touchdown. I think round 9 is the absolute earliest that I would take Drake May in a one-quarterback league. You might be able to find him as late as round 12 or round 13. Absolutely view him as a top 12 quarterback. I would take him ahead of Justin Fields, for example.
Got a little bit banged up last year, but in his 10 healthy games, he was on pace for 630 rushing yards. If you project that, just those numbers alone, forget about what everybody else does, because nobody else gets projected with their other injuries. Forget about that. But he would have been the 3rd best rushing quarterback behind Jayden Daniels and Lamar Jackson. So there is a lot of potential here for what he could do with his legs.
I've seen Drake May in person as well. I know I'm not saying anything groundbreaking, but he's a big dude.
He is.
Expecting big things
A lot
from
of
him.
Josh Allen comparisons.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a big dude with a big arm who moves. He's very mobile. He's great at managing the pass rush. So you're absolutely right. He's very much like Josh Allen in that regard.
Let's talk about, I like the clarification there in that regard.
Right. Let's pump the brakes on him being as good as Josh Allen in fantasy. But he does have one of Josh Allen's old receiving targets in Stephon Diggs. So if Diggs plays like he did back then, hey, maybe it could happen.
All right. We'll hold off on the Josh Allen at the minute, but we'll revisit it maybe halfway through the season or so. Let's go to the running backs, though, gentlemen, because, Jamey, yesterday you said stay away from Saquon and some of those other big names here. So who's a breakout player you could maybe get in replacement of some of those bigger names?
You led into it with 3 rookies that had standout, campaigns in their first season. I like 2 rookie running backs to have big years in their rookie season, and they're going to outperform their average draft position in the case of maybe R.J. Harvey by leaps and bounds. But Trevion Henderson is clearly getting steamed up a lot in drafts, understandably so, because every time you watch him play, he has just highlight after highlight. Whether it's the 100-yard kickoff return, scoring a rushing touchdown, he's going to make a lot of plays in the passing game. And I think what we're going to see from him, he's going to be potentially the every down rusher before the year is out, because you're looking at Ramondre Stevenson. He's banged up now, dealing with a fumble issue. I don't care that Antonio Gibson started the 2nd preseason game. This is their best running back. And Josh McDaniels, to Dave's point, very good offensive coordinator, very good at using guys in the passing game at this position. And I think he's going to use him as a weapon across the board. Reminds me a lot of Jahmyr Gibbs in his rookie campaign. Took a little bit of time before he took off. You can't keep this speed and athleticism off the field, and Henderson could be a monster. Same thing with R.J. Harvey. You're just talking about Sean Payton running backs. He got 50 catches out of Javonte Williams last year. He's going to do great things with Harvey. I love the fact that they're saying, don't be afraid to bounce it to the outside. Use that speed. Use that playmaking ability. And then you saw he got a little skinny last week, got the touchdown, in traffic. So he's going to be able to do it all. And J.K. Dobbins is there, yes. Unfortunately, Dobbins misses time due to injury quite a bit. So in those games where there is no J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey could be a top 10 running back. I'm taking Henderson in round 3. I'm taking Harvey in round 4. I'm winning my fantasy leagues with 2 rookie running backs.
They're absolutely great calls. I've got some second-year running backs, and I get it all the time when I say that Bucky Irving is a breakout candidate. They say, Dave, he broke out last year. Give us a different name. I think he can be better than he was last year. I love that in his last 8 games, he averaged 18.1 PPR points per game. In 2 of those games, just 2 of those games, he had at least 60% of the snaps, meaning that if he plays a little bit more this year, he can be even better than what he was last year. That's what I'm counting on. I saw the Bucs practice in person. They are running on all cylinders, and they're getting Tristan Wirfs back at left tackle. I can't tell you how big of a deal that is, and I think their new offensive coordinator is going to end up being pretty good for Tampa Bay. So when you're in round 2, Bucky Irving's a good pick. I think Tyrone Tracy's a good pick, too. I think he's going to start the year as the lead back for the Giants. We saw last year from week 5 on 13.1 fantasy points per game in PPR. I think he can be a little bit better than that. I know Cam Scadaboo is waiting in the wings, but I think Tyrone Tracy, just the better pass catcher, maybe certainly the faster player, just not as physical as Scadaboo. They'll combine a little bit. As long as he doesn't fumble, I think he'll be okay. I do think that Tracy shouldn't get taken anywhere sooner than round 7. If you can get him in round 8, round 9, when the rest of your fantasy league is sleeping, more power to you. I think that's the way to go.
Haley, did you know that?
Yes, I did. Go Mean Green, Abner Hayes. Is that where you were going?
Well, I was, but I was going to say, do you know that Pete Prisco scouted those guys in high school?
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how many fantasy points do you think Abner Hayes is getting in 2025?
In 2025?
Yeah.
Not many.
Okay.
No.
Well, it just means like
in
if he's playing his
1960,
potential.
in 1960,
Yeah.
a lot.
Okay, Go Mean Green. I love when we get a Go Mean Green shout out on the show.
Doesn't
UNT,
happen all that often.
It does not. You are correct. You do not have to tell me that because we don't have any running backs or wide receivers, which is where we're going next in the NFL. This is a position I feel like can really make or break your team. Is your wide receiver, your pass catcher. So let's start with wide receivers first. Dave, who are you looking at in terms of a wide receiver that could have a breakout?
There is a wide receiver with an average draft position after round 10 that I am willing to take in round 7, and his name is Keon Coleman of the Buffalo Bills. Second-year standout, tall, strong, better route runner than he was this time last year. Maybe even lost a little bit of weight, and he looks a little bit quicker. I saw him practice against Chicago. He dominated the practice. This is also the receiver handpicked by Josh Allen before the 2024 draft to add an element to this Bills offense of a downfield target, a red zone target. I absolutely think that the coaching staff will continue to make efforts to get him the football. Love his upside. I am willing to reach for him quite a bit, taking him in round 7. And in that same practice, I saw Rome Odunze step up and be the best wide receiver for the Chicago Bears in practice. We're used to DJ Moore having that role, and you're going to see DJ Moore get drafted ahead of Rome Odunze this year, but I think Rome Odunze is going to work further downfield. He's certainly more explosive. He's got hops like you wouldn't believe. I think he ends up being the most explosive receiver for Caleb Williams and the Bears, and I think they end up throwing a little bit more than people give them credit for. Odunze is also in that round 7 range for me.
I got 2 young guys that I'm excited about. You know, Emeka Egbuka and Ricky Pearsall, you know, 2 guys that have an opportunity to really dominate their respective receiving corps. For Egbuka, you're seeing just the path, the runway's opening right now because Chris Godwin, while he is coming off the PUP list, he is most likely going to miss the first 4 games of the season. They're talking about getting him ready for October, and who knows if he'll even be at 100% by that point. And unfortunately, Jalen McMillan dealing with that neck injury. Egbuka's going to start, and he may not give up that starting job anytime soon. He's also playing opposite of 32-year-old Mike Evans. If Evans does slow down at any point, sorry, Jack, then we could see Egbuka take even a bigger step forward in his rookie campaign. Baker Mayfield, everybody in Tampa Bay just raving about this rookie that they took in 19th overall. And in the case of Ricky Pearsall, we talked about the 49ers and their backfield injuries. Brandon Ayuk is on the PUP list. You have Juwan Jennings dealing with a calf injury. They might be pulling Jerry Rice out of retirement to help this receiving corps at this point because Ricky Pearsall is looking around the room. It's that Will Smith, you know, gif of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, where's everybody else? It's Pearsall and nobody at this point. George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey at different positions. Pearsall is going to soak up targets from Brock Purdy. He's in such a great spot. We know about the unfortunate situation that happened to him last time around this time last year with the gunshot wound. By the time the end of the season, he had 3 games with at least 6 targets. In all 3 of those games, 17 or more PPR points. That's elite production, especially for somebody that you are getting, at least right now, around 100th overall. Dave said he's taking Keon Coleman around 7. I'm taking Egbuka and Ricky Pearsall in the round 5, round 6 range. Like, that's how excited I am about these 2 players.
Yeah.
And that's where you want to have, if you want to get them, you have to target them early. They're going to be that good.
They are very, very good route runners. They are very, very fast, and they are going to play a lot. And again, I was at that Bucs practice. That offense looks great. Egbuka, a big reason why. Music
to producer Jack's ears as you guys rave about his Bucs. Some of those accolades that you just mentioned as well relate to a tight end that you are targeting, Tyler Warren. A lot of people are very excited for his potential. We had a couple of experts on yesterday talking about his blocking ability as well. From a fantasy perspective here, how excited are you for Tyler Warren?
Yeah, don't block. Don't block at all. Just, you know, let
just get open and let him go.
Mo Alley Cox and all the other tight ends in Indianapolis do all the blocking. I know Dave shares the sentiment. Like, Tyler Warren's got a chance to be really special. And the quarterback decision, however you feel about Daniel Jones versus Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones is going to throw more because he's not going to run as much. He's going to give these guys a little bit of a better opportunity to catch the ball. Can Tyler Warren ascend that much more ahead of Michael Pittman and Josh Downs? That's the biggest question for me, but I think you see the way that Jones has looked for him in the preseason so far. There's a chance for him. Do not put him in the same category as Brock Bowers. He's not going to do that. He's not going to have over 100 catches. But when you start to stack up these tight ends next to each other, especially when you look at value, Sam Laporta dealing with a little bit of an injury, David Njoku, you don't know how long the quarterback situation will stay somewhat stable. Travis Kelce's 100 years old. It just starts to look at like you just wait a little bit longer and you get a league winner like Tyler Warren who can do a lot of things in this offense. Again, I don't think he'll be Brock Bowers. I hope he's going to be significantly better than Pittman and Josh Downs, but there's just a lot to like about the scenario. For Shane Steichen's offense, they've wanted a playmaking tight end. They went out and got one. He's going to be a good fantasy asset as well.
He might lead them in targets, catches, yards, and touchdowns this year. He's that good.
Good news for Daniel Jones as well. All right, guys, appreciate the time. Looking at those breakout stars here. Again, you can get more of this advice by checking out Jamey, Dave, our entire Fantasy Football Today crew as they bring you the latest insight like you just heard with that Brian Robinson trade a few minutes ago. Scan that QR code to get locked in right now.